it's Lindsay, and today I am doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I feel like I need to be freaking out how everyone starts this video like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's June, but like, I'm totally happy with my reading this year. I've read more this first half of the year than ever before in any other year. I'm really happy about it, and I'm not really freaking out. Like, I'm just chill. I'm going with the flow. So this is probably going to be like a super mellow freakout tag. So yeah, here we go. Let's get into it. So number one is the best book that you've read this year so far, and that is going to be kind of a tie. I've decided between The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and An Ember in the Ashes. So with The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, I picked that one because I just feel like it was so raw and impactful and powerful, and it's just a very engaging read. It's about a 50s Hollywood starlet and all of her like scandals and secrets that she's got going on through her life. And then of course An Ember in the Ashes is just this amazing high fantasy series that is really the first young adult series that I have felt extremely passionate about since The Hunger Games, and that's so huge to me because I'm always, you know, after Harry Potter I was like, oh, nothing can top this, I'll never feel the same way about a series again. And then I had The Hunger Games, and then The Hunger Games ended when I was in high school, and I was like, never again, like how will life go on? And now I have The Ember in the Ashes, and I adore it. So yes, those two books for sure. Next is the best sequel that you've read so far this year, and that is A Torch Against the Night. I actually haven't read that many sequels this year, and the ones that I have read I wasn't like super hooked on. So I'm gonna go with this. Even though I didn't have a lot of competition, it still is a little shining star, a torch against the night, if you will. Actually, I am doing a read-along / discussion video for A Reaper at the Gates. I'm filming that right now. So look out for that in the next week if you are really interested in the series and want to hear more of my thoughts. Number 3 is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and for me, that is going to be The Wicked Deep by Shea Ernshaw. From what I've heard about this book, it's a lot like Hocus Pocus. It's got 3 witches back from like the 17 or 1800s, and these witches go and they possess the bodies of young girls, and with that possession they kill boys across the town. Like, okay, I'm down for it. And this book too actually takes place in the month of June, and it's June right now, so I am definitely going to make time for this. This is probably going to be my next read after I finish The Reaper at the Gates. Number 4 is your most anticipated book of the second half of the year, and that is of course The Muse of Nightmares. That is the second book in the Strange the Dreamer duology. I am so pumped. Strange the Dreamer was my favorite book that I read last year. It was so good and heart-wrenching and like just completely devastating, and I have no idea how this series is going to end happy and like everyone okay because of the things that happened at the end of this book, but like I'm still excited to read, but I'm real scared, so we'll see how it goes. Number 5 is your biggest disappointment of the year, and for me that is The Queen of the Tear. Like, I was so ready to love this. Everyone talks about how amazing it is, so I actually bought the entire series being like, well, of course I'm gonna like this because everyone else does, and I didn't. The writing style was just not at all what I like. It was very like meandering and descriptive and just not my cup of tea. I know a lot of people love it, and I'm so happy for you if you love it. I wish I could, man. I wish I could. I tried to force myself through it. I'm not going to force myself through the rest of the series, so I gave up on that. But yeah, it was my most disappointing read. I'm still really upset about it. Number 6 are the biggest surprises, and for that I'm going to go with An Ember in the Ashes. Again, that was really good. I discovered this in February. I just kind of picked it up on a whim because like, I don't know, when I go into this thing with YA where I keep my expectations low, and then sometimes you just find like a diamond in the rough and you're like, oh my gosh, it's so good. So I was really surprised when I picked that up. And then another surprise was The Disappearances, I'll put over here, by Emily Bain Murphy. This was so good, and it was so quiet, nobody's really talking about it, and it was just incredibly immersive and atmospheric, and the characters were so incredibly well developed. I loved the plot. It was just so good, and I was utterly shocked by how much I love it. So yes, I recommend this. Please read it. I'd love to talk about it with someone. Not a lot of people have read it, so please read. Number 7 is your favorite new authors. Now I have 2. Of course I'm going to say Sabata here because, you know, whatever, why not? We all know I love her. But I also want to add Gillian Flynn to this list. Now, I read Gone Girl a couple months ago, and it blew my mind how great it was. I adore her writing style. I love how meticulous she describes her characters to make them really lifelike, so I really enjoy that. And I'm reading on audiobook Sharp Objects right now, which is I think her second book that she read, wrote maybe? I don't know. HBO is adapting it and I'm super excited because the adaptation is going to be directed by the same guy who did Get Out, the movie, and produced by the same people that did Big Little Lies, and I loved both of those, so I am so pumped for this TV show. Let's go, people. Number 8 is a new fictional crush. Now, I don't really have fictional crushes. I usually just ship whoever the love interest is with, and I'm like, okay, cool, like they for you, that's good. I don't really like, you know, want to be with any of these characters, but I guess, you know, some male characters that I really kind of love a lot. Elias from The Ember and the Ashes, he's just such a beautiful person, and I'm gonna go with Reed from The Upside of Unrequited. I love Reed because he's so personable and just nerdy like me. He loves going to the Renaissance Festival, and like, I don't know if y'all know this about me, but I go to the Renaissance Festival like 3 times each year. I go in full costume and like really embarrass my husband the whole time I'm there because I'm like, huzzah, take the empire! Ah! I'm such a nerd, I swear. Yeah, I really enjoyed Reed's character. He was so sweet. And just a really great guy. Number 9 is newest favorite characters, and I made a list for this because there was no way to just cut it down. Like, I couldn't do it. I love so many. So first of all, we have Jupiter North from Nevermore, Amy from Gone Girl, Evelyn Hugo from The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Kestrel from The Winter's Curse, and the entire cast from An Ember in the Ashes. Number 10 is a book that made you cry, and I haven't actually cried that much this year. I am a big crier when it comes to books, like I'll cry over anything, but the only one that really comes to mind as one that like struck a chord with me is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. There were a couple scenes in there that were really impactful and kind of broke my heart a little bit, so I shedded a tear. I shedded a tear. Number 11, a book that made you happy, and for this I'm gonna go with The Wizards of Once audiobook. Now, specifically the audiobook for this one because it is narrated by David Tennant, and it just breathed life into this book. It took it to a whole new like dimension of entertainment, and at the time, probably actually maybe even still to this day, it was the best media that I have consumed, and that includes books, audiobooks, movies, TV shows, plays, whatever. It was just so good, and it made me so happy. All of the characters had different personalities and voices and tones, and it just, if you haven't checked it out yet, you really need to. It's just a full experience. Number 12 is your favorite book to screen adaptations, and for this I am going with Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn because the actual script was written by Gillian Flynn, so it's almost like she took the book and made it into a perfect movie. And it was excellent. It captured the same eerie, creepy, uncanny vibe that I just loved in the book, where you just don't know who to trust, and it was excellent. I'm also gonna add in Black Panther to this because it did start out as a comic, right? So like, that counts. Number 13 is favorite videos that you've done this year. Mine are my vacation reading vlog because I put a lot of time and effort into that, like all of the cool little montages. I just loved it. And probably my villainous showdown tag, where it's like the rip it or ship it tag, but you know, you pick 2 villains and you see which one wins in a fight to the death. I love doing that tag because I love talking about villains, so I really enjoyed both those videos. You should check them out. I think they're great. Number 14 is the most beautiful book that you've gotten this year, and that for me is going to be Wild Beauty by Anna Marie McLemore. This book cover is just my life aesthetic. Like, if you can't tell from like the room around me, maybe you can because there's not like a great angle, but floral, ditzy floral patterns that clash together is like, it's my aesthetic. It's who I am as a person. If my soul had a color, it would be ditzy floral. Number 15, the last question. What are the books that you still need to read by the end of 2018? And I have all of them right here. There are a ton of books that I still want to get to by the end of the year, but these 6 are the ones that I am like, Lindsay, if you don't read, I'm gonna be mad at you. The first one is The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. Wild Beauty by Anna Marie McLemore. Next is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X.R. Pan. Everlist by Sarah Holland. And the last 2 that I have to get to are getting caught up on the rest of the Diviner series by Libba Bray. Can't believe I haven't read these. Libba Bray is like my actual favorite author, like OG favorite author since middle school, and I haven't finished the rest of her series. Alrighty guys, so that was the mid-year book freakout tag. I hope you enjoyed. I feel a little bit more anxious than I did at the start of this video, but like, it's cool. I can go drink some tea, do some yoga, meditate, you know, it's fine. I'll be good. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to tell me down in the comments what you still need to read by the end of the year or what your favorite reads of the year were. I would really like to check that out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!